The most highly decorated Marine in history has been pretty much removed from history altogether. They don't want you learning about this guy. I've seen a lot of people online say that his little book, War is a Racket, should be read by grade school kids if they're old enough to pledge allegiance to a flag using words they don't understand. Then they're old enough to understand War is a Racket. Very simple book. This fella realized after 35 years of killing people that he was doing it for corporations. He thinks he killed 100,000 people over bananas. This piece of traitorous trash is Prescott Bush, and he was Hitler's banker. Made a ton of money. Here's what else he did. He and about 19 other wealthy people called Smedley Butler in, and they had planned a military coup going to kill FDR and make Butler the president. Smedley Butler went to the media and went to Congress and told them about the plot to overthrow the United States. They did stop the killing of FDR, but the men were never punished. So do you think they just went away? I mean, a military coup planned, and these guys weren't hung. You can hardly find evidence of the attempted coup. So that's how long this media crap's been going on. Listen to what this American patriot has to say, please.
War is a racket. It always has been. It is possibly the oldest, easily the most profitable, surely the most vicious. It is the only one international in scope. It is the only one in which the profits are reckoned in dollars and the losses in lives. A racket is best described, I believe, as something that is not what it seems to the majority of the people. Only a small inside group knows what it is about. It is conducted for the benefit of the very few, at the expense of the very many. Out of war a few people make huge fortunes. In the World War I, a mere handful garnered the profits of the conflict. At least 21,000 new millionaires and billionaires were made in the United States during the World War.
Stop here.
The question of further naval appropriations comes up. The swivel-chair admirals of Washington, and there are always a lot of them, are very adroit lobbyists, and they are smart. They don't shout that we need a lot of battleships to war on this nation or that nation. Oh, no. First of all, they let it be known that America is menaced by a great naval power. Almost any day these admirals will tell you the great fleet of this supposed enemy will strike suddenly and annihilate 125 million people, just like that.
We're being told daily that China has an enormous navy and they're going to attack and kill us all every day so we can build ships.
Then they begin to cry for a larger navy. For what? To fight the enemy? Oh, my, no. Oh, no. For defense purposes only.
The main purpose for our Navy is every time there's a conflict anywhere in the world that we likely started, we send a ship over there so that we can claim it was fired upon. Case in point, the Gulf of Tonkin, what took us into the Vietnam War, and we found out 70 years later, Gulf of Tonkin never happened. This list goes on forever. A couple of ships coasted into Iranian waters, and Iran took care of them, fixed the boats, and sent them on their way, and the Pentagon wanted to bomb Iran for that. During the Six-Day War, we sent the USS Liberty, a communication ship, in international waters off of the coast of Egypt, and Israel purposely attacked it for 45 minutes, killing 34 and wounding 200, and claimed it was an accident. Everybody on board to this day still claims they were trying to sink the ship so they could blame Egypt. Another false flag event. That's the only thing our ships are used for.
Then, incidentally, They announce maneuvers in the Pacific for defense. Uh-huh. The Pacific is a great big ocean. We have a tremendous coastline on the Pacific. Will the maneuvers be off the coast, 200 or 300 miles? Oh, no. The maneuvers will be 2,000, yes, perhaps even 3,500 miles off the coast. The Japanese, a proud people, of course, will be pleased beyond expression to see the United States fleet so close to Nippon's shores, even as pleased as would be the residents of California were they to dimly discern through the morning mist the Japanese fleet playing at war games off Los Angeles. The ships of our Navy, it can be seen, should be specifically limited by law to within 200 miles of our coastline. Had that been the law in 1898, the Maine would never have gone to Havana Harbor.
It's widely accepted that the USS Maine was sent abroad just so it could be blown out of the water and we'd have an excuse for a conflict.
She never would have been blown up. There would have been no war with Spain with its attendant loss of life.
We don't have a Defense Department. We have a War Department. You know, we've got 735 military bases outside the United States. They're not here to protect citizens of the United States. They're here to make war abroad.
Yes, we have had disarmament conferences and limitations of arms conferences. They don't mean a thing.
Here's how little the American people know. During the Bush administration, Congress up and approved $350 billion to rebuild the nuclear armament, and it was not mentioned in the media, newspapers, anywhere. War is and has been a racket, and I'm afraid if the United States is able to crush Russia, that'll be the last bastion for freedom that the world will ever see. So we're pulling for Russia.